Hello guys and welcome to another video of Yuki, and today we are making the guide for Fury Slayer Warrior. Finally, I know a lot of people have been asking about this guide on my streams, personal messages on Discord, everything. People want this guide, and I think today, finally, 1st of October on Wednesday 2025, it's the day that we're gonna be uploading this video. I'm gonna be talking about mostly and mainly about Fury Slayer, since that's the topic. The other specs have not changed that much compared to the previous seasons, so about this video is gonna be only about Fury Slayer Warrior, and I'm gonna be trying to provide you the most things that I know about this spec, how do I play it, my personal guide and my personal thoughts, and I hope you like it, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk about stats. Stats, of course, strength is your primary stat, that doesn't change, obviously, and then we're gonna be moving to secondary stats. The most important out of them is the mastery. You need to invest as much points as you can into the mastery, and then, very close, it's gonna be your haste. Right now, because of the build that we're playing and the abilities we're gonna be using, haste is kinda important. So try to invest on these two as much as you can. Lastly but not least, it's the versatility in critical strike. Those two are kinda seeming the same, but it comes down to your personal liking. For example, I wanna have a little bit more versatility than critical strike, because versatility helps on higher keys and higher difficulties of the game or in the raid, for doing more damage, for doing more healing done, and decreases the damage taken as well. So that's why I personally like more versatility. You might add a little bit of critical strike as well. It doesn't differ that much. Always same your character, obviously. But the difference between these two is not that big of a deal. Mastery and haste though, one of the most important stats that you're gonna be having as Slayer Fury. Now let's talk about race. Race, I am Night Elf, as you can see, because the racial ability Shadow Melt is super strong. You don't need to get another potion to share the cooldown with a battle potion. You just have your racial ability, and if I'm not mistaken, on general, the Night Elf is giving you either a critical strike or haste during the night and critical strike during the day. So when the time is changing, you either get like 1% haste more or 1% critical strike during the thing, and you also have the quickness, but that's not that big of a deal, these two. Just nature damage taken, it's not big of a deal, all of this. Mostly you want the Shadow Melt, that's why I chose Night Elf, but you can go and pick any other race you want, any other race that you are liking, Horde, Alliance, everything can work on Warrior, everything's great for the Warrior. The sims are kinda in the same area, so you're not gonna be like picking, let's just say for example Tauren, and you're gonna be picking a Gnome, and the Gnome is gonna be doing more damage than the Tauren, or Tauren more damage than the Gnome, but like a significant amount. It's a very minimal, and it comes down to your personal liking as well. Now let's talk about gear. In the gear section, I'm gonna be telling you right now about the crafts. I'm gonna be telling you about the trinkets, and I'm gonna be telling you some specific items that I feel like it's really nice to have. But again, it comes down to your simming and everything to see like if all of the stuff that you have on your gear is correct in order to do the most out of damage. We will begin with the cape, which is the legendary one. Of course you want to have it, and you want to combine it with the boots. Either normal, heroic, or mythic boots are gonna be very good rather than any other boots in your gear. They help a lot, and they're having a really good synergy with the cape, so these two is a must-have. Then we're gonna go down to the crafting section with embellishments. The crafting section, as you can see, I'm using the wrist, and after 11.2.5, which is after 7th of October, this build is gonna get a nerf. And right now, as the time that I'm making this video, this build is seeming 0.2 lower than a 723 mythic build, which I have on my bags. This one. So 0.2 lower than the mythic 723. It's kinda not that much to invest that many gilded crests to get this upgrade while I can still upgrade some other stuff in my gear. So that's why I have not changed the belt yet, or I have put another crafted here. The crafted items that you want to be having alongside with the rest, it's either an off-hunt that you're gonna be using the Ascendance, and you're gonna be doing double the embellishment of Nerubian effect. This is a very good synergy for single target. Most of people are playing this on raid, but you can also play with a double embellishment of critical strike or versatility. And the slots that you're gonna be using, like the other crafted item alongside with wrist, it's gonna be either legs, either belt, and either hands. And it comes down again to your own personal character, or where do you want to put these ones. For example, if you have a belt and you don't have a mythic belt, I would suggest you go and crafting a belt alongside with your wrist, and you put either critical or versatility together. Or if you have like the hands, or if you have the legs, it's actually the same. It will come down to your character as well, what you have to wear and what you're losing on your sims, or what you're gaining on your sims. What secondary stats are gonna be using. Usually you wanna go with Haste Mastery or Haste Versa or Mastery Versa. We don't going that much with Critical Strike, as I said previously on the stats. It's not that big of a deal, especially for Slayer Fury. And that's about it for the crafted items. For AoE, obviously in M+, it's gonna be better to play with one crafted embellishment and one more, and then getting your weapons on 723. And on single target on raid, it might be kinda the same, but I feel like it's more better to play with this one offhand with this embellishment. It deals a little bit more damage than single target. Again, see your character and see what is best for you. We're gonna go down to the trinkets now. A lot of people are asking me about the trinkets. What trinkets should I use? A lot of people are getting confused. So for the trinkets, what I'm doing, at least personally, is I'm doing three things. I'm simming my character on 1 target, I'm simming my character on 5 targets, and I'm simming my character on 8 targets. I'm doing the sims for 5 solid minutes, because on 5 solid minutes you can find the stable amount your character can do in damage in the sim section on the raid bots. A very good site to sim your character. Always you should go and refer to it and take advice from it. And because the trinkets are kinda different from one sim to another, I'm trying to combine. For example, let's take a situation that I'm going into a Dawnbreaker, which is not a big AoE dungeon, yes, and you have more single target. What I'm doing there is taking the sim of the single target. For example, me personally, it seems Keystone Idol with Arakara, it does 0.5 more damage than Keystone Idol and Astral Antenna. I'm taking one of these two and I'm putting the Arakara. Why I'm doing this is that, and not like going with Arcana Core as well, because the best single target sim is this one, the Arcana Core and the Arakara. Why I'm not doing this is because, as I said previously, I'm combining. So I'm combining a little bit of AoE, 5 targets or 8 targets that I'm doing, so I'm using 1 trinket for AoE and I'm using 1 trinket for single target. And in that way you can find a balance between some dungeons. If the dungeon is high AoE, go with the 8 targets or 5 targets trinkets. Usually they're kind of the same, they're not like different that much. The only difference is between the 5 or 8 targets with 1 target. And that's how I'm doing my own sim. I've seen some other people playing with single target only trinkets, and they're not going at all on AoE, they're playing with Arakara and Arcana Core or Astral Antenna and Arakara. You can still do that because you do mostly prio damage, and you're doing very, very high amounts of prio damage as a warrior. It's okay to do it, there is no problem on it. If you want to gain a little bit more overall on AoE and you want to contribute on AoE as well, think about the other sims. If you don't and you just want to blast a single target mob, you going with the single target trinkets. The most powerful trinkets right now that you can use is Arakara, Keystone Idol, Arcana Core is really nice, and Astral Antenna. If you don't have any of these trinkets in your disposal, for whatever reason, you can use Solis Secret Technique. is actually pretty decent. It gives you like a solid secondary start throughout the whole dungeon for 60 minutes, 1 hour. It's extremely nice. You can use a pacemaker, although it got nerfed, so I'm not picking it anymore, but it's a very solid option if you don't have Asal Antenna, for example, an alternative. And you can use Ticking Sack of Terror if you don't have the Screams of Comet, I don't remember the name from the last boss of Dimensions that drops in the raid. It's actually pretty decent single target trinket. It does a lot of damage, and it actually feels good to play because it gives you mastery as a secondary, not haste and not critical strike. So it's a pretty solid option to do that. Those are the trinkets that I'm using. I've not seen any other warrior using any other trinket, so I feel like you should be going for this. Try to farm them if you don't have them. Try to do sims, obviously. 5 targets, 8 targets, 1 target. If you want to do any other sim, feel free to do so. Usually I'm doing up to 8 targets because our Reap of the Storm effect, it hits 8 targets and more, so it's a soft cap, and the Reap of the Storm is actually on our first damage, that's why I'm saving on highest 8 targets. And always I'm considering the sims to try to play the trinkets. Obviously when I go into dungeon and I have like different route, I have a different combination of the players, classes or whatever. Obviously I'm trying some other trinkets as well to see how I feel, if I can reach the sim potential, if I don't reach the sim potential, if I feel good about it or not. And after all of this I summarize and I put my trinkets into use and I play the dungeon as it is. Now about the enchants, as you can see my weapons are using Oathsworn Tenacity and Storm Rider's Fury. In the previous seasons you were using either Authority of the Depths for single target or Radiant Power for main stat and AoE, and a little bit of single target as well. Right now you're not doing this because the secondary stat, apparently it seems higher and it actually does a lot more than the main stat or the Authority of Depths. And always sim your character, it might be another enchant for you. Mine right now, both on single target and on AoE, is Oathsworn Tenacity and Storm Rider's Fury, what I'm having on my weapons. I suggest you do the sim, try to find what your enchant is currently your correct enchant to have on your weapons. It's really important, because you're gonna be losing some damage. It's not a minor thing. And probably it's gonna be like a secondary stat. I don't see any other using Radiant Power or Authority of the Depths, at least as of right now today. And pay attention to the sims on what they're gonna be showing you on the when you do the correct variation of the sim, to see like what enchant are you gonna be using on your weapons, because as I said previously and multiple times, it's really important. Now when it comes to gems, you wanna have at least this gem, the primary stat, and I'm choosing the critical effect per unique Algari gem color. And there is a section on the gearbots that you can use to sim different gems all together, a combination. It's gonna take you a lot of iterations, so be careful with that. And it actually sims every single gem that you're gonna be picking, and it's not only simming the gems that you already have on your gear. So what it does is actually choosing the best gems for you to put on your gear. Be careful though, because you're gonna be ending up spending a lot of gold in those gems, and the effect that they're gonna have on your DPS in general, it's not that big. It's around 0.1 all the way to a maximum of 0.3. It's not a big of a deal about the gems changing in between, and it comes down again to your personal liking about the dungeon and stuff. For example, if you have like lower versatility, I would say like go and stack up as much versatility as you can alongside with mastery or haste. If you have like a little bit lower haste and you want to get some haste, get it on the gems. It comes down to this. The difference on the damage is not that big. It's 0.1, 0.3. It's not that big of a damage to worry about the gems on your gear. Lastly, we're gonna talk about consumables as well. A lot of people are asking me, obviously you're gonna be using the Tempered Potion, the Battle Potion, the Invigorating Healing Potion as well for the healing. We're using Algari mana wheels, not any stones. that gives like attack power, if I'm not mistaken. We're using Algariman oils. We're using Belda's bounty for secondary. We're not using the fist. The fist is not anymore giving you the best DPS outcome. Alchemical chaos, obviously flask, because it's the best around. And the augment rune about the renown 18 that you're getting from this expansion. Again, sim your character and you're gonna see what is best for you. Obviously, it's gonna be mostly that. I've not seen any other warrior having anything different playing around. So, because some people were asking about the consumables as well, this is what you wanna use. Alright, now that we talk about the boring stuff, let's go to the fun part. So, we're gonna be talking about mostly about Slayer, and I wanna go through the talents, cause you can do some different stuff. I'm gonna talk about raid, M+, openers and everything. Later on about the rotation and all. That time we're gonna be talking about the talent specifically on the Slayer Fury Warrior. We're gonna go into the warrior tree first of all. As you can see, I've picked some of the talents that you can use as well. It's kinda getting Rumbling Earth, for example, and maybe you wanna give up maybe this thingy. It's not a good, you're gonna be losing some damage in a whirlwind, but it's kinda okay if you don't have a lot of CC. You're gonna have CC though, because the warrior doesn't have a lot of CC. It's kinda decent to do that. Concussive blows is really strong. This one seems a little bit more overall damage on AoE. This one seems a little bit more single target because you're gonna be kicking the mob, and for the next 10 seconds you're gonna be having 5% increased damage you deal to them. And also it lowers the cooldown of your pummel, so your kick, by 1 second, and you can combine it with this one. So if you do this, your pummel now is gonna be on 12 seconds, and you're gonna be having a kick on 12 seconds. It's 13, it's around 12 if you do that. It's not like 100% 13, that's why I'm saying it. This is summarized up. You have like a very low cooldown kick. If you pick this, and if you pick this, you have a little bit more AoE. This talent, the Horn Reflexes, is really good because it reduces by 5%. Not that great CD reduction, but it's fine rather than nothing. On your Spell Reflect, Stormbolt, and Rage Generation, and Pumple, and Intervene. Intervene you don't play anymore, you play all the other talents, so yeah. It's a very good talent as well to use. You can give it up and play other bitter immunity, for example Arakara. It removes your disease, poison and curses affecting you. It's a very cool talent to play. Also, it has like a 3-minute CD. Not that great of a feel, but really nice in order to help your healer when you have like a poison or something like that, to press and instantly remove, and also heals you 20% of your health instantly. You can remove that and you can play maybe with a movement speed, because for whatever reason you want to play this, you feel better. Sure, why not? You can go for it. You can play with Stormbolt as well. You have like one more Stormbolt. I don't play personally with Stormbolt anymore as a Slayer Fury because I'm not Mountain Thane. So Stormbolt is only gonna be hitting one target, and I don't find it like that much of a value, rather than just have a little bit more defensive or a more wide open shockwave and cooldown reduction if I hit at 3 targets or more. So that's why I'm picking this. Now when it comes to this particular talent tree, I'm not picking Barbarian Training, although you can, but the sidearm is seeming a little bit higher. As I said, this one with maybe a little bit more pack, it's gonna do a little bit less damage than sidearm. It depends. Because this one is a RNG proc 20%, and this one is always if you press your whirlwind. So personal liking as well. I personally like this one is because it's seeming a little bit higher than this, but it's a very good combination to go like this and this. If you have a big AoE dungeon, your whirlwind is gonna do kind of a decent damage, because you press a lot of time whirlwinds, because you're gonna be having to press a lot of buttons in the rotation of Fury Warrior. The other talent tree is something like this. I don't personally like to go the uproar. I want this, the critical strike chance increased by 2% and the damage of your execute, because right now on your rotation you're gonna be pressing execute. So I kinda like this more, because your execute does a lot of damage than having this. The roar doesn't do that much of a damage. It actually does reduce damage beyond 5 targets. It's not a big of a deal, so I just have like a spare talent here. You can either even remove the Thunderosaur and just play with this one, or pick anything else. The damage on details, or even logs. If you go and take a look at the logs, it's not that big. It's a filler anymore. It's not pressed like for convenience, just pressed because you don't have anything else to press, or just to do a little bit more damage on your opener, for example, or on CD. It's not that big of a deal, the Thunderosaur anymore. Berserkers tournament, obviously, you don't go any more Titans tournament, unfortunately, Berserkers. And this is about it. You can go Spear. Some people I've seen they go Spear, but don't find it that good. It's just a personal liking. I don't find it good. It's where your cursor is. Sometimes in the fight you cannot see. I'm picking the Thunderosaur. Simple as that. We're gonna go now to Fury. The Fury talents, and the Fury talents is as it is. If you're gonna go AoE, this is exactly what you wanna pick on AoE. For me personally, again, I'm gonna be saying this a lot of times throughout the video. Sim your character as much as you can, because simming is gonna make you understand what you will be doing the most damage out of it. Right now, with these exactly talents, my character is doing the most damage. The difference between some other builds that I've been using is not that big. Sometimes it can go up to 1% though. So take that into consideration and try to sim your character with many different builds and many different synergies, as you can see here. For example, what I'm trying to say, let's just say this is an AoE and you want to pick an Unbridled Ferocity, and for whatever reason you want to remove this and you want to take Focus and Chaos, or you want to take Fresh Meat, or you want to take one more here and leave this one as well. Anything can work. It's not that big of a difference on the sims, but if you want the best one, at least for me, it's simming this one. This is the best. You can take, for example, improved Bloodthirst and put like Fresh Meat if you have like your Bloodthirst to get like Enrage every single time, because you're right now playing with Frenzy and Rage. You can play with Powerful Enrage. I've seen some dungeons I've run. It doesn't feel that great for Slayer Fury and your Bladestorm. It doesn't feel that good. I was not getting fast enough from anger management my CDs of Bladestorm and Recklessness. The GCD sometimes was kinda annoying with the Powerful Enrage, so I'm playing with Frenzy Enrage as much as I can, and almost like every single time in raid as well. It's very, very good. And because of that, I'm also playing this one that helps me extend my Enrage with my Bloodthirst for 1 second, which is extremely cool. And you can also play with Fresh Meat, as I said. It's a very nice addition to your liking. If you're running out of Enrage and you don't have Rampage, you can press like Bloodthirst, and there is a small chance, 15, to get Enrage. And if you hit your first time target, you're gonna be getting Enrage all the time, 100% guarantee. I'll choose to play with Bloodthirst, damage increase by 10%. You're not pressing Bloodthirst at all, it's just a filler, but you're pressing it automatically on your Bladestorm. It does damage. So if you go into this talent, the Unhinged, because you don't play with Storm of the Steel, I didn't pick the talent. I think I tried it once. I didn't like it because the Bladestorm damage is super low on this one, and it's not worth. The Unhinged what it does is every other time Bladestorm or Ravager deal damage, you automatically cast a Bloodthirst at your target or random nearby enemy. So that's why I'm combining these two. So the Bloodthirst damage that is gonna be doing from my Bladestorm, because you're gonna be pressing a lot of times Bladestorm throughout the dungeon or in the raid. It helps the damage of Bloodthirst, because why not? It's a free damage talent, and that's why I'm picking it. The Unbridled Ferocity I'm not taking anymore because it's nerfed. I don't remember from where it got nerfed. I think from Triangle Flight, that we had like a 20% chance to get Recklessness from Rampage. I think it was 20 or 25, I don't remember exactly, but right now it's reduced all the way to 6. So it's really bad of a talent for AoE. Doesn't help that much when you have like so many other good options to play around. You play with Austin Juggernaut because, as I said previously, you're gonna be stacking your Execute, and you're playing it a lot of times in your rotation. So you need this for your Execute to do more damage. Sudden Death as well, because that comes from the hero talent tree, which is gonna go really soon into it. And I've tried some builds with Onslaught and some builds with Odin's Fury. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel that well. This is really bad because I love so much Odin Fury, and I love Onslaught as well. It doesn't go that well. It doesn't go that well. It didn't feel well in The Sims. Also was not that seeming that good enough, and I chose to not play with them at all. And this is my final build in here for the AoE specific scenarios on the dungeons. If I want to go a little bit more single target, what I've been doing personally is removing 1 point of critical thinking and putting it on ferocity, because single target you're gonna be playing a lot with your rampage, and I'm removing 1 point of death experience and I'm putting it either on focus and chaos, or I can put it again on critical thinking, because the critical strike of Raging Blow, and Raging Blow now is your primary damage as well. I'm doing that. But mostly, I think my sim was saying to me that I'm simming the highest as this. And if you have a cleave, you want to play with this, but this is the highest sim that I can get. And if you don't have a cleave, obviously you remove the mid cleaver, and you take the cold steel hot blood, which is like a gushing wound that you're gonna be applying from your bloodless critical strike, which is actually really nice. Why not? And here it comes out again to your own liking. Either you press this, either you press this, or whatever other you wanna have, like maybe defensive, maybe a fresh meat for whatever reason. This one is not great. You have some valid options here to go if you are in pure single target that you can actually play in the raid. I don't recommend it for dungeons, especially because you have a lot of AoE, so obviously you're not gonna go with that. Sim your character again with lots of different talents, and that's what you're gonna be doing. And now finally we're gonna be going into the Slayer hero tree, which there is a few options here, but I'm gonna say to you something that I've been not be paying attention probably, and I learned it like in the previous weeks actually, and I didn't even know. Obviously you're gonna go opportunists instead of fist follow through, because you're playing Raging Blow, and your Raging Blow right now is your main damage. In these two, you're gonna be going brutal finish for your rampage. Unfortunately, like this one was seeming good, right now it's not. It fall down, so anymore we don't pick this at all. And in this talent tree, it's whatever you wanna go. I find like the charge very nice because it removes all movement depending effects, and it's actually pretty cool sometimes when you get root or whatever. Charge is really nice. This one is heroically reduction. Maybe it's good, maybe not. I've not personally played it that much, to be honest. What I wanted to talk about in the video is that what I want to say is about the death drive. A lot of people don't know about this. I personally didn't pay that much attention to this talent actually, and how much healing it does. But let's take a look at it. It says that it does your heal for 15% of damage dealt by sudden death. So that means when you're playing with this talent, the sudden death, your executor you're gonna be pressing when you have a proc, it's gonna be healing you for 15% of damage dealt. So that means that this execute is gonna be healing you a lot. And right now I don't have any storage memory on the details or previous encounter or something to show you, but I've been finding in the healing section, on the healing done, when I was playing some dungeons and some raids, the death drive actually is the second healing onto me after before the leech that you're gonna be playing as a warrior, because leech is really nice. So death drive is really cool. Whenever you find yourself in a situation that you're not having a lot of healing, for example, just press your sudden death proc, you're gonna be healing in a very decent amount of your HP, and it's a very nice ability to have. Talent. And that's about it about the talents. I don't have anything else to say that much about the talents and what I'm using, what I'm not using, and stuff like this. This is mostly what I've been running in the dungeons, exactly like these talents. You can find my talents on the description down below. I'm gonna be putting them, and you can find them on my Twitch as well if you do the command Fury Talents, or in my Discord. I have everything there for free, and you can go and pick it up. This is purely for AoE scenarios on dungeons, and mostly that I'm running in every single dungeon I've been playing. Alright, it comes down to the rotation and opener of the Fury Slayer. A lot of people have been asking me about the opener, about the guide to make it for the rotation, and what am I using, what I should be using, how am I supposed to use it, when to press that, when to press this, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so I'm gonna be showing you the opener, the exact opener that I'm using in every scenario, both in raid and in M+ when I'm reaching a pack. And after that, we're gonna be showing you the rotation. What you wanna do if you have a pack and you're going into, let's talk about the M+ first, and then we can talk about the raid. So for the M+ first, what you wanna do is like target a pack. Let's just say the tank pulls or whatever, and what you wanna do is charge. While charging in the middle of the road, you press a whirlwind. You get the stacks of the whirlwind, and then you wanna press a Recklessness Avatar Roar. Get some rage, spend it on Rampage into your idol and your Bladestorm. Obviously, you're gonna be pressing your trinkets and your pods and your racial abilities or whatever, either after you press Recklessness and Avatar or before that pack. It's up to you. The difference is not that big of a deal. And as soon as you get the rage, you press the Bladestorm, and after the Bladestorm, you're gonna be going to the rotation. So the opener, it looks something like this. You're pressing the trinket, boom boom, and this one. This is currently an opener without having your Bladestorm fully enhanced, without getting the Bladestorm buff. And as you can see on the opener, it doesn't do that much of a damage, but like your Bladestorm is not doing that much of a damage. Although it's your first damage, but it's not that much compared to what it would be if you are pressing it with Imminent Demise. It's sorry, it's talent that you're gonna be stacking up to 3 times. What you can do in order to get your Imminent Demise every single time on the pack is before the dungeon starts, because it persists, and this is a tip and trick that I'm gonna be showing you, is that you can actually put a tourney bag, and you can actually go here and hope for sudden death proc. As you can see here, you have a sudden death. You're pressing it. You have now Imminent Demise. You can see here the Imminent Demise is 1. You're gonna be stacking it up to 3 times. You're waiting for the buff of the sudden death. Usually comes very very fast, and you get another buff. Boom, another pro coming. 2 stacks of Imminent Demise. And 3. Right now you have 3 stacks of Imminent Demise. Your Bladestorm is gonna do more damage because it's gonna be striking 3 more times when you're pressing it. So again, we're gonna be doing the same exact rotation as we saw it on the opener with the Imminent Demise. Also, it holds up to 1 minute, so doing this before the key starts, it's very very nice to have the buff, because your Bladestorm gonna do more damage on the AoE. So what you're gonna be doing again, it's the same. You press the pod racial whenever you want to, either after the Recklessness and Avatar or before. You charge, you press a whirlwind, so you can hit all of the targets. If you don't have a rage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, and Rampage, you get the rage, and then you press your Bladestorm. Obviously, you're gonna be pressing Recklessness, Avatar, and Roar before that. You're gonna be capping the rage. Yes, you're gonna be capping the rage, and then you're gonna be spending it. But in this way, your Bladestorm is gonna be doing the most damage out of it. Yeah. That's why you want to do it. There is another opener that you can actually use. It's not that bursty. Usually you're not that burst. Either way, Slayer Fury is not a burst. You are a sustained damage dealer, but not bursty enough, as some other classes have a lot more burst than you. What you can do again is go into the pack with a whirlwind, and let's say you have 0 rage. You're gonna be stacking your rage, and you're gonna be pressing your abilities without pressing the Bladestorm at all. You're gonna be pressing your abilities, and you're gonna be stacking your Bladestorm as much as you can. And the Imminent Demise comes only from your sudden death procs. So again, that comes to you if you wanna stack it or if you wanna send your Bladestorm insta. What I've been doing, because I tried like so many openers as a Fury to see what do I like, is that because you're gonna be getting your Bladestorm very fast enough, like extremely fast, in 20 seconds, 25 maximum, you're gonna be having again Blaze Storm. Not Recklessness, but Blaze Storm, because Blaze Storm cooldown is deducted from your rampage, your talents. As you can see, the Jaeger management says every 20 rage you spend, reduce the remaining cooldown of Recklessness, Blade Storm, and Ravager by 1 second. So 20 rage, and let's say you have 130, you can see that it's a lot of seconds deducted when you spend that much amount of rage. So with this one talent, and also the talent of sudden death, and the execute that reduces the cooldown of your Blade Storm, the Blade Storm is gonna be going all the way down to 20 to 25 seconds every single pack, and you're gonna be having it. So you're gonna be ended up pressing it a lot of times, not like one time to do the most damage, but pressing it a lot of time. Plus it buffs the damage of your rampage, and plus also gives you more rage when you press it. As you can see here, the Blade Storm does do more rage, so you can get rage, and then you can have the brutal finish that you're gonna be pressing your rampage, because it's your damage increase 50% on your next rampage. So the openers are going like this. I've seen one other opener that you're gonna be pressing instantly your Blade Storm, like you go into the pack, you press instantly Blade Storm, and after the Blade Storm you're gonna be pressing Whirlwind, Recklessness Avatar, and Roar, Trinket, and Potion after the Blade Storm, because the pack will have the stack of Overwhelmed, which we're gonna be talking soon. It's the stack that you're gonna be paying attention for your tier set to work. Everything can work. It comes up to your personal liking. It comes up to what tank is gonna be pulling and what pools you're gonna be playing. To your sims as well. Pay attention to your sims, how the simming is actually opening your CDs, the rotation, what it does, what each and every ability does to the specific pack. You need to understand that, and after you have all this information into you, and you're gonna be giving it a little bit of more experience into every single package you're gonna be doing and training, you're gonna come down to your own personal opener in your Slayer Fury, because there is no wrong or right, but sometimes you're gonna be ended up spending a little bit more rage for your abilities, rather than just overcapping the rage and not be able to press the buttons that you're gonna be pressing if you were not overcapped on your rage. But the end is gonna be like 1 or 2% damage difference from another warrior that's gonna be pressing the opener differently. That's about the opener of the Warrior Slayer Fury, and that's what I'm doing, at least for the packs. It's like I'm rushing in, I'm pressing a Whirlwind while I'm rushing, I'm getting the stacks, I'm pressing Recklessness Avatar Roar into Trinket and Potion, getting my stacks for Rage as much as I can, and pressing instantly Blaze Storm without even waiting for the imminent demise at all. If I have a sudden death proc while I'm pressing all of these abilities, because I'm not using a macro, I suggest you try to get a macro. For example, it's very, very cool. You press like one button and you can do like so many stuff without pressing all of these buttons with your fingers, because your fingers are gonna be hurting a lot. You're gonna be pressing a lot of buttons with Fury Slayer, so yeah. Like if you get like a sudden death proc, press it and then press your Blade Storm. It's gonna do a little bit more damage, and it costs you nothing to do that. No GCD, no anything. That's about the opener. So that's an opener on like an M-Plush rotation wise, I guess. You're gonna be going to every single pack and how you open your CDs. Your Recklessness and your Blade Storm are gonna be coming a lot sooner than any other ability. I suggest you press them. It doesn't matter that much, because you're gonna be getting them all the single time. Like, spend your abilities as much as you can. That's how you're gonna be getting a lot of damage. Obviously, if the pack is on around 10% of their HP, don't press them unless it's a very very specific move that needs to be dead in that amount of time. I suggest you press it, but again, it comes down to your own route. How do you want to play the dungeon? What you need to have? You need to strategize before that. And that's about the opener. And press your CDs on cooldown as much as you can. The same can be applied into the raid. Exactly the same, apart from like pressing Whirlwind. You can press Whirlwind while you're running, because you don't lose anything, and it's not on your GCD at all. As you can see, I can press it and I'm not losing anything, and I'm still hitting. just to get a little bit more rage while I'm running. You can do this, and it's exactly the same rotation. Opening your CDs, and as soon as you open your CDs, you're gonna pressing Rampage into Raging Blow, and blah 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 blah. That's about it. The openers on both Rage Scenario and M+. It's not different that much, it's kind of the same. I've seen some people not pressing Roar, they're pressing it as a filler if they run out of rage or buttons to press. I like to press it on CD, it's not a big of a deal. As I said, you can either play without Roar as well, it's not a big of a damage on your details and log. And that's about your opener. So now we're gonna be talking about the rotation wise. The rotation wise, it's gonna be something different than usual, because usually what you wanted to do is like press Rampage and press your Bloodthirst and then Whirlwind and Raging Blow and over like Bloodthirst over Raging Blow and stuff like that. Right now it changes because of your tier set, and let's read together our tier set so we can have an idea of what it does. Let's have a look on this the second the 2 tier pieces and then the 4 tier pieces. So it says on the 2 tier, like execute damage increased by 10% and executes from sudden death have a 10% chance per stack of overwhelm on the target to trigger a Slayer Strike at 100% effectiveness. Slayer Strike is on your hero talents, and sorry, it's this one. It's your attacks against your primary target have a high chance to overwhelm their defenses and trigger a Slayer Strike, dealing 600k physical damage and applying Mark of Execution. So it's kind of nice. The two set of the warrior. It's kind of nice. It's not big of a deal. It does some damage. All cool. The most damage it comes out to our 4 set, which is Raging Blow damage increased by 10%. That's nice. And Raging Blow has a 2% chance per stack of overwhelm on the target to trigger Reap of the Storm at 150% effectiveness. What that means is that, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets, and you have your overwhelm in every single target at 10 stacks. If you have your overwhelmed on every single target with 10 stacks, because your Whirlwind is hitting 4 targets plus the one that you're gonna be hitting, so 5 targets, all the time you're gonna be hitting 5 targets as a Fury, that's your main damage. Your target, if it is on 10 stacks of overwhelm, is gonna have 20% chance to trigger Reap of the Storm. But here's the big deal. You're gonna be hitting that target, but you're gonna be hitting also the other 4 targets. So you have a 20% plus 20% plus 20% plus 20% plus 20%. So 20% out of each mob that you're gonna be hitting from your Whirlwind with your Raging Blow. So that means that you have around 60 to 70% chances every single time to trigger a Reap of the Storm effect. And Reap of the Storm effect is actually pretty cool, because it does damage up to 150% effectiveness. So that's how the overwhelm stacks are working, and that's how your Fury right now is doing so much damage. It's because of the tier set is working properly. It's a hotfix that happened, and right now Slayer is supposed to be working as intended. So let's just say we are on a rotation right now, yeah? Let's just say now we are in a rotation, we're running. Let's just say that we spend all the abilities. Let's spend all of the abilities, and we spend the potion and the thing and the racials and everything. And we are overcapping the rage, as you can see, because you're overcapping the rage. We're gonna be pressing, obviously we have the Whirlwind stacks from before, because you need them. You're gonna be pressing Rampage to spend the rage as much as you can, and you're gonna be pressing Raging Blow, you see, first Reap of the Storm, Raging Blow, again Reap of the Storm, and then Rampage. What you wanna do is keep your rage all the time running. You don't wanna be out of rage at any point in the fight. You can technically and theoretically do it for 1 or 2 seconds, but you're gonna be losing a lot of time. So try as much as you can to stay enraged at all points. And while you are on enraged at all points, the best safe in quotes scenario is to press a Rampage and like 1, 2 Raging Blows, again Rampage, again a Whirlwind, and then sudden death execute into Raging Blow, into Raging Blow, into Rampage. in this current state of the warrior, you're gonna be prioritizing Raging Blow over Rampage, but you don't wanna overcap the rage. What do I mean about this is that if you're in a specific scenario and you're playing a pack, and let's just say, let's up a little bit the rage. Let's just say that right now our rage is 130, and you still have, let's just say, 3 stacks of Whirlwind. Yes, and you're 130, and you still have the Opportunist proc from your Raging Blow. What you want to do is press Raging Blow, because you might have a chance of hitting a Rip of the Storm effect, and then pressing your Rampage. Best case scenario is pressing 2 Raging Blows, getting your Slaughtering Strikes up to 2, because Slaughtering Strikes does damage of your Rampage plus 40%. It's a Slaughtering Strike, it does 20% more damage on your Rampage. So press 2 and press Rampage, and that's about it. That's the current rotation of a Fury in M+ and in Raid as well. Apart from like Whirlwind, you don't press at all Whirlwind on single target. Obviously, you're pressing all the other talents as a filler, the Bloodthirst and the Roar whenever you want to. You're gonna be pressing Execute, because a lot of people were asking me, where do I press Execute? Why do I press Execute? You wanna be pressing Execute because you wanna turn down the CD of your Bladestorm as much as you can. And you don't want to press it all the time, because if you spend your rage, if I press 1 Execute, it's going to give me 20. It's going to give me a lot. It's giving me a lot of rage. So press the Execute as much as you can, but when it feels good. What do I mean about this is that if the current target, as you can see, has this little marked icon, which is a mark for execution, that is very important, it's gonna be dealing more damage of your Execute. So Execute, this is the talent is coming for here, that it says mark for execution increases the damage they take from your next Execute by 50%, and it stacks 3 times. So this thingy, marks for execution, it increases up to 3, and it also does more damage your Execute by 50% per stack. So 45% more damage of your Execute if you press it on 3 stacks of your Execute. So what I'm trying to suggest is that whenever you have a proc of sudden death, obviously you press it no matter what, because you want to be getting the imminent demise and also the CD of your Bladestorm, and you're gonna be spending the proc of Execute of sudden death because you might be ended up overlapping with another proc, and you're not gonna be stacking them, so you might be losing 1 proc, and you don't want this to happen. So whenever you have a proc of sudden death, just press it. It doesn't matter even if you're not on the Whirlwind stacks, just press it. You have a lot of seconds, by the way, to get into Enrage or to get into Whirlwind stacks, and then press your sudden death. And when your Ascent Juggernaut is on 5 stacks and it goes down like 1 or 2 seconds, again press your Execute, because you want to keep the stacks rolling around. Execute is a very powerful button on single target, and try to keep it attention of like the mark for execution. It's a random buff that's gonna be up in the target from your abilities and your attacks on the target as well, and you're gonna be getting it. And you have like 2 stacks of mark for execution right now, and you press Execute and it does more damage. This is what mark for execution does. And try to press the Execute on like 2 stacks and above. You can press it on 1. It comes down to the spending of your rage and everything, but don't press Execute without sudden death, and don't press Execute without having mark for execution buff or Ascent Juggernaut. It's not that good. Obviously, to get the buff of Ascent Juggernaut, you have to press an Execute, and that's the best case scenario, to press Execute when you have a sudden death proc, and then try to spam it as much as you can when you have like these stacks here, the mark for execution stacks above the target, and that's where you get the most damage of your Execute. Bloodthirst comes as a filler, as I said. Like if you don't have any other button, you just press Bloodthirst just to get a little bit more rage. It gives you like around 10, 15 around there. Rage, I think it's a 10 rage. Yeah, it's a 10 rage. It gives you. It's not a big of a deal. It's kinda whatever. As a filler, it's kinda nice when you don't have anything else to press in your bars. But don't you don't play with this at all anymore. You don't play at all, and when you're actually blade storming, your rage is gonna be pressed automatically. As you can see here, you press blade storms from your blood thirst from your blade storms. Your aura, as I said, is kinda filler, but I like to press it on CD, and that's about it. You prioritize Raging Blow, especially on 8 and plus targets. You prioritize your Raging Blow because your Raging Blow is gonna be doing the Reap of the Storm effect, and Reap of the Storm is hitting 8 targets and beyond. So that's a soft cap on your Reap of the Storm. That's the most damage you can do on big packs. On 5 targets, unless you prioritize your Rampage and then your Raging Blow. Obviously, you're gonna buff the Rampage as much as you can, so you're pressing 2 times or 1 time Raging Blow and try to get your Slaughtering Strikes to buff your Rampage and then press it. And you're pressing your Execute, as we said previously, with the buffs and the procs. Last but not least, let's talk about the Overwhelm stacks and how you can get them and how you can easily apply to the pack. So the best way to get your Overwhelm stacks is by Blade Storm. You're pressing Blade Storm, and by the end of the Blade Storm, the pack is gonna have 5 stack each from your Blade Storm damage. If you get the procs of your Sudden Death into Imminent Demise, let's just have a look. You're gonna be having 8 stacks, because it's gonna be hitting them 3 more additional times. So 5 plus 3 equals 8. So let's get our Execute down with Imminent Demise as well, and I'm gonna be showing you how many stacks they're gonna be getting. Okay, now we have Imminent Demise. Let's wait for the buff to end. And that situation is the best that you can use for your Blade Storm to apply the Overwhelmed stacks. Let's wait for the buff to finish, and I will show you. The buff is going now. You can press charge with Imminent Demise, and pressing Blade Storm, as you can see, it goes all the way up to 8, 9. Sometimes it does 8, sometimes it does 9, it doesn't really matter. What you want to do is keep that stack at up to 10 all the times, and all the times means you're gonna be pressing like Whirlwind and Raging Blow, and the Raging Blow it refreshes. Your Bloodthirst, it's applying Overwhelm stack every single time. I'm gonna be showing you after. And one other ability that not many people know about it, unfortunately, it's that how many stacks you have on Mark for Execution. If you press Execute, those Mark for Executions are gonna be applied as Overwhelm stacks on the target. So let me show you. Let's just say that there is no Overwhelm stacks. As I said, you can do this, Whirlwind and Bloodthirst, and as you can see, you get some Overwhelmed stacks into the targets all the time with your Bloodthirst to trigger the Reap of the Storm effect and the Overwhelmed stacks. And your Mark for Execution, as you can see, if it's consumed by your Execute, it's gonna be applying 3 more stacks of Overwhelmed. I'm pressing this into the target, and boom, you have 8. You're pressing this, and you're pressing this, boom, 10. This is a very good way for your target, if he has a Mark for Execute debuff from you, to press your Execute and get them into more Overwhelm stacks. Right now you have 1 and 2 Mark of Executes. If you press the boom, 3, because it consumed this one and this one. If you press again Execute, boom, 5, and again, and you get your Overwhelm stacks from your Execute, not only your Bloodthirst or your Rampage, your Blade Storm. Execute as well. If you have the Mark for Execution, it gives you Overwhelm stacks. If you have an Overwhelm stack and you press Energy Blow and you trigger the effect of Reap of the Storm, it also gonna be applying Reap of the Storm and Overwhelm stacks. So you have 3 very good ways to, 4 good ways to apply your stacks on the opener or when you go into the pack. Bloodthirst to trigger the Reap of the Storm, Blade Storm to trigger instantly the stacks all the way up to 8, 9 or 5, depends how many stacks you have. Then you have Raging Blow if they have already a stack of Overwhelm to trigger Reap of the Storm and get them the Overwhelm stack. And your Execute if they have a Mark for Execute debuff up to them, you're pressing it and you apply the same stacks onto the target as an Overwhelmed stack. The best case scenario to get your buffs instantly, for example, in an opener is like you pressing this, you go this, you press a bloodthirst instantly, you press and that's about it. That's about the whole situation about the opener and the rotation guide of Warrior. It doesn't change that much, as I said. It's a currently newbie friendly guide about Warrior, all the way up to as much as you can get the maximize and minimize out of it. Minimax as much as you can. I try to make this guide as low as I can in terms of duration, because I didn't want to make it like a long video and have like so many things applied to it, because the Warrior has not been changed that much since the previous seasons, only like the priority of some buttons and maybe a little bit the difference in some occasions. I hope you guys enjoyed that much of enjoying the Warrior in general. It's a pretty fun class to play. You have to press a lot of buttons, I understand this, and it's a lot demanding class, but it's a very easy class to learn to play and to go all the way high in damage and enjoy yourselves into it. So yeah guys, that was the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the guide. I tried, as I said previously, to make it as low duration as I could. I didn't want to make like a big video. I wanted to make a more specific video about what you want to do and get the most important things out of it. If you like this video, please drop a thumbs up. It actually helps me a lot. I hope this video is gonna be helpful for a lot of people to actually understand the rotation and the Warrior in general. As soon as this video is gonna go live, I'm gonna be live on Twitch, so you can find my Twitch on the description down below, and come to my stream to have a little bit of chat or any other question that you have, and feedback will actually mean a lot to me. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video in general, I'm gonna be making a tips and tricks with reflects on every single dungeon that we have this season, maybe in the later weeks, as of this video is dropping out, and I'm gonna be enjoying making it, so please let me know about this. I want to read your thoughts below the comments, what you think about it. If you have any different questions or any different opinions about it, I want to hear, and we can have a discussion, or come to my stream and we can talk it and chat about it live. You can join my Discord as well in the description down below to ask me any personal questions or try to have a little bit of chit chat as well. I would love it. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching guys this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have a blast of a day and see you all. Don't forget to join my Twitch. I'm gonna be live as soon as this video is going to dropping out. Thank you so much and enjoy your day guys. See ya.